Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces this week, and I already know what half of you just thought. Great. What do I need to back up, and what meetings do I need to triple confirm? Totally valid, but I want to offer you something deeper than retrograde logistics. Mercury retrograde in Pisces is a specific kind of revisit. Pisces is the most intuitive, boundary dissolving sign in the zodiac. It doesn't deal in spreadsheets and bullet points. It deals in feeling, in things that are just beneath the surface, in the stuff you sort of know but haven't been willing to look at directly. So when Mercury, the planet of information, communication, and processing, goes retrograde here, the invitation isn't just to back up your files, it's to back up your beliefs, to revisit what you've been consuming without integrating, to look at the financial information you've been avoiding and ask why. And here's the part that I think gets lost in the retrograde conversation. Avoidance isn't random. It's not just laziness or bad habits. Avoidance is information. It's your nervous system telling you that something about the way you've been approaching this doesn't actually fit how you work. And in Pisces season, especially, that signal gets louder. The fog thickens around the things that were never going to work for you in the first place. I notice this every retrograde without fail. I'll find some old money belief I forgot I was still carrying. It shows up in a decision I almost made, or a conversation I keep putting off, or a number I've been rounding up in my head because the real one feels like too much to sit with. Mercury retrograde in Pisces is especially good at surfacing that stuff. The beliefs you inherited, the financial identity someone else handed you, the way you learned to talk to yourself about money when things felt uncertain. It's worth slowing down and actually looking at what's coming up instead of pushing through it or waiting for retrograde to be over. Inside Cosmic Currency, one of the codes we work with is the learning code, derived from your Mercury placement. It reveals how you actually process and integrate financial information, not how you should learn it according to some generic financial literacy course, but how your brain is wired to receive, retain, and actually use what you take in. This matters more than people realize because a huge amount of money avoidance isn't about fear of the numbers themselves. It's about the friction of trying to absorb information in a format that your brain just doesn't work well with. You sit down with a financial concept, it doesn't land the way you need it to, and then you walk away feeling like you're bad at this when really you were just using the wrong door. I had a client who had been white knuckling her way through financial concepts for years, doing all the right things technically, but always feeling like there was a layer of fog between her and true comprehension. Like she understood the information, but it never fully landed. She'd do the work, check the boxes, and still feel like she was guessing. It had started to feel like a personal failing. When we looked at her learning code, everything shifted. She wasn't slow or avoidant. She just needed financial concepts delivered through a completely different entry point than the one she'd been using. Once she understood her processing style, the fog cleared, engagement became natural, and the avoidance that had been mislabeled as a character flaw turned out to be a navigation issue, not a character one. That's what the right code can do. It doesn't just explain the pattern, it dissolves the shame around it, and once the shame is gone, you can actually move. Mercury retrograde in Pisces is asking you to do that audit right now, not of your bookkeeping, though maybe that too, but of the way you've been relating to financial information. What are you absorbing and not using? What do you sort of understand but never implement? What money conversation keeps getting postponed? Be honest with yourself about that, because the answers aren't pointing to your failures. They're pointing to the misalignments, the places where you've been trying to navigate with someone else's map. The murky feeling of this retrograde retrograde isn't confusion, it's an invitation. The things that feel foggy right now are asking to be felt before they're filed. Sit with what's surfacing. Be honest about the beliefs and avoidances you're bumping into, because that's not Mercury messing with you. That's Mercury showing you exactly where the next layer of your money evolution is waiting. If you want to put language on what's coming up for you right now, the Cosmic Money Style Quiz is a clean, honest place to start. It reveals your current money attachment style, the way you're currently moving with money, whatever is getting surfaced in this retrograde season. Take it at cosmicbee.link/quiz